from this computer. Recording in progress. Okay, well, thank you very much for attending the Visionary Business Hub Ladies Networking session. And as I was just saying before we hit the record button, well, but first of all, I'll just say the date. Where are we? 8 July 2021. Now, before, as I said about before hitting the record button, is I've got something interesting based on how last week panned out, and also based on a network that online network that I was actually last Thursday morning. So before I get into that, I'll just do my little routine. So we've done the record. So what I wanted to do was just quickly talk about not where I came from, and everybody's heard that over and over again, but I just wanted to reiterate the simple fact of the benefits of networking. Now, I was at a networking session this morning with Gail, it was down in Rabina on the Gold Coast, and it was a big crowd, and it was just wonderful. The atmosphere, and it's BX networking, and he's Australian and he's gone to New Zealand, and apparently there was word today that it's going to be spread online with US. So
it's a bit like the virus.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's really taken off, but you know, it's a structure that's very much, they do different activities, but it's still all about creating a network, creating referrals. It's not so much you sell to that person that you just met, so which is exactly the sort of thing that I'd like to do, and in also, you know, create this this depth, get to know each other a bit more, so that helps. So one of the things that made me sort of start the Visionary Business Hub is the simple fact that sitting on Facebook, and we know it's getting harder and harder to organic market on Facebook, is because I realized it's 8 to 10 weeks. By the time you sort of get in there, especially if you're an introvert, you just sort of, oh, I like that, or a little comment, you know, and slowly but surely, you know, you make some sort of brave move and you create a post. And then when you've got some communication with a particular person, then you create a message. And then finally, if you're working together, you might create a Zoom, start a Zoom. And then what happens? 8 to 10 weeks has passed. It's just such a long time when you still have to talk to them. So why not here, as in the networking? You know, it's like preaching to the practice. What is it? Preaching to the converted here. But yeah, so, you know, it's a case of just start talking. Great. Do your Facebooky thing and, you know, keep things rolling. But yeah, do your talking straight away and work out whether you are a connection or whether, you know, you can create referrals or not. The other thing is too, while it is a little group, and of course the plan is to go much bigger, and what I'm going to do is we'll see how we go tonight. I will sort of start going into breakout rooms when we get a bit bigger. So I actually joined an Australian networking group, and she's not networking. She's a business lady based in Sydney, 2,000 members, a lot of experienced ladies. And I thought, this is great. Lots of experience, you know. They network once a month. And then I realized, well, you know, once a month. So how long is it going to take before they notice me? Unless I turn up totally naked, they're not going to remember me, you know, and that's exactly right. So how long is it going to be? How much money will I have to spend? 10 months. So, you know, $80 a month. So that's nearly $1,000 in the 12 months that I've had to spend before they started remembering me. And having it only once a month, if you happen to not be available on the date of the following month, it's 2 months before you're back into the throw again, and they're not going to remember you. So there's a big benefit in regards to, you know, the boutique group, which is what I like to call us, the boutique group. So that's a little bit, and of course, you know, the money factor as well. There's have workshops, which is something else that you pay for, but, you know, they don't have the external exposure either, like Visionary Business Hub does. So anyway, right, so that's me doing my little spiel. Now, ladies, what I'd like you to do this time, we know what you do, so just sort of talk about any offers that you have or any wins that you've had this week, or is there any new projects, something just to add to what you've been doing. Anna, did you want to go first?
Yep, okay. So I guess you all know that I'm in the health and wellness industry, and also that branches out to weight management and gut health, just overall holistic wellness. And it's more or less just a live clean choice, I guess. And that's what I love to do, is empower people to make wiser choices. So for me this week, our company has actually got a month's promotion at the moment, and it's actually to bring in new customers into the company to let them try a product to the value of $20. So we thought that was a really good promotion. So we can introduce anyone that just might want to try a product and spend up to $20, and that's free. And it just gives them a little bit of an insight of what we're all about, and they can buy 2 products for $20 actually, because we've got some products that are under $10 each. So that's what we've got for this month. So I've been busy in sharing that with lots of my customers, and teaching them how to share it with other customers. So I believe in duplication, so that's what we're doing.
Right.
I've been also, like Donna, just connecting with other little groups around my area. We have a function on, they call it, it sounds a bit posh, but it's not really. Hamilton is our suburb. So for the ones that don't live in Brisbane, so there's a ladies of Hamilton little group, and they just meet over either a morning tea, a lunch, or just some drinks. So I'm connecting with groups like that. We've found a little venue at Albion, which is not far from here, and this Friday night, tomorrow night, it's actually going to be there. And so it's a good way of just connecting with other people, because it's all about networking.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, very much so.
So
Great. That's great.
thing.
Yeah. So we'll have to hear about that venue, whether it was worthwhile going to, and the food, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gail?
Yeah, look, I'm really excited to tell you, Donna, that I'm sure you will be too, that last week we had a very small group, didn't we? It was only you and Lynn and Gail and I. I've connected with both Lynn and Galen. So
yes,
Lynn and I have been talking about, helping her with her children's book that supports her program, Lynn, would you call it? Yeah. And we're going to actually have a proper kind of a catch up proper meeting next week to work specifically on her book. And I spoke with Galen, who is really keen to write a book and wants to do my program, but she's not quite ready yet because she's not quite sure of exactly what she wants to write. So it's important that, and I gave her some ideas, to sort of try and get her started in the genres that she's interested in. So that's been great. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when
So
people
you can
connect.
do your boom. What's his name again? That fox? What's this? That funny fox that was, had he has his own TV program, and he used to say boom boom.
Right. I don't know.
Oh God, I'll tell you later. Anyway, so that, because you always say boom.
Boom. That's exactly right.
Basil Brush.
Yeah.
Basil Brush.
I'll tell you who it is. What his name is.
Sunny just said someone. Basil Brush.
Basil Brush.
Basil Brush. That's right. Yeah. Boom boom.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Right. Excellent.
And the other win is that I had another sign up today to my book coaching program, Get Your Book to the Finish Line, which is starting on Monday evening. So
fantastic. You're having a boom. So you're having a fantastic week. Good for you. Well done. Well done.
That's brilliant. That sounds really exciting. I love it. Don't you just love it, hearing the successes? I think it's great.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a long time, doesn't it? It takes an awful lot, a lot of effort, a lot of time. I mean, it's July now, and I've been working on this all year, and taking doing programs myself to get sort of, you know, geared up, and and just constantly on social media. But anyway, eventually it pays off.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well
basically, I
done.
just have to say, because I've got to get myself into a routine, because I went to a conference in regards to memberships and things like that over in with Tribe with Stu McLaren, and his constant thing was Tribe works, Tribe works, Tribe works. So now I'm going VBH works, VBH works. You don't need to have a huge event. You just need to communicate to create your network. So excellent, well done. I'm happy. So Sunny, would you like to tell us what have you been up to besides getting ready to travel again?
Oh, that's just a small part of it at the moment. But I guess the wins that I've had these last few weeks since I was last on have been, one is I've really focused my effort on growing my own group, the female business owners, the female online business owners. And what's happened is that I had this group for a long time, didn't really do very much with it. But because my attention has really gone into the group, I've offered a lot of things for the members to be able to do. So things like that, those spotlight sessions, which you've probably seen, Donna, they've actually worked out to be really highly successful, hugely successful. I've got kind of like a list of people that want those interviews. And what that does, for the person that I'm interviewing, it actually gives them that sort of elevation, and me to edify them in what they're doing, their business. But it also elevates myself. So what it does is it kind of puts me in that position of people seeing that I've got credibility in my interviewing techniques, and the fact that the videos are being passed on and everything else. So what that's doing is it's actually encouraging the interviewees to invite more people into the group. And it's literally gone from when it was absolutely nothing. I changed the format of it, I changed the name of it. It went from 340 very, very inactive people to now I'm just about to hit the 600 mark. I'm 40 off of hitting the 600 mark. And that's only been in the last 3 weeks that I've done that. And I've done that by being consistent, consistent with inviting people, consistent with actually what I've done is I've taken it to the next level. So I'm not just pressing that invite button. I'm actually sending people a message, communicating with them, finding out if they are a good fit for the group. And that's actually really generating a lot of activity. Now, on the back of that, 2 things have happened. One is that I've sold a lot more of my first course that I've put out there, which is the Facebook Friends Facelift course, which is only like it's a very easy, very kind of like introductory, low level priced course. And I've sold a lot more of those because it's kind of like a no-brainer price. People can do it very easily. And also it's really built my email list. So because of the questions that I'm asking in the group, one of them is to leave me with their email, but they have a choice. And I would say that out of all of the people that I ask for their email, 98% actually provide their email. So they're now on my email list, and that's growing, massively. And then, of course, what's happened is I'm doing some research, and what I'm finding is that the biggest struggle that most of the ladies that have an online business is actually knowing how all the systems fit together. And how to properly and consistently market themselves without getting distracted with lots of other things. So I am going to be doing some training courses on putting a funnel together, keeping it very, very simple. And it seems that that's going to be very popular. A lot of people are asking for that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that you can sort of fit down to our workshop period of time, or is it, because that would be something that would be attractive in the workshops as well?
Yeah. Look, I tell you what, in half an hour, what I could probably do is actually explain how the pieces fit together.
Yeah, well, 45 minutes,
The actual doing of it would take a lot longer.
Yeah.
but I've got a wonderful sheet which actually is a graphic of all the different elements and then how to reverse engineer that. So doing everything in the right way.
Oh, yes.
Exactly, because what happens is everyone says, "Oh, put a funnel together, and then we think of the client journey, and we try and put it together the same way that the client sees it. But
Yeah.
what you need to do is you need to actually reverse engineer it. So that might be things like, where do those people go once they've signed up? That's the first thing you need to do, is where they go. And then when they go there, how do we communicate with them? And that's before you've even done your landing page or your capture page.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and so it's making sure that that is in place before you've got all the fancy landing page, because that really is the last bit that you do.
I heard, yeah. I heard that the other day.
And actually I've made it very succinct and simple for people to understand. I mean, I've been in the teaching business for God, 20 years now. So I know how to provide people with instruction in a very simple to understand way. And that's what I think can be missing, because it can get overcomplicated. And there's so many ways of doing things, that one of the things that I teach is I'm going to teach you how to create a landing page using whatever that tool might be.
Right.
You know?
Great.
So it's very succinct and it's very clear.
Excellent. Well, sounds like it's going to, it will be gangbusters. Fantastic.
Yes.
Right.
Could you maybe
Good
put
stuff.
a link in the chat, Sunny?
Yeah, which is something that I've sort of held my phone to remind us that, check in, Google, check in on Facebook, and, search for Visionary Business Hub in your check-in. And yeah, don't forget to put your links in the website, in the chat, so people can save them. Because I sort of rewrote my script here, and I didn't write that down. So I should put in here, check in. Yeah.
So by the end of today, I'll actually have the funnel for that particular piece of information done. So as soon as I've done that, I'll let you know.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll send
you. All right.
Link.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, Lynn, what have you been up to? Is it school holidays? Are you on a break?
It is. I am on a break. Yep.
Are
Last 2 days, which is awesome. And randomly everybody cancelled today, which was really cool, because that means I actually had a day where I go, what do I actually do when everybody cancels? So, which was awesome, because then I got to go into my emails, and yes, I rewrote my first chapter today, which looks nothing like my last book, because Gail gave me some amazing advice about how to title it. So now that's really on a roll, which is really, really exciting. So, because it really needs to launch at the same time as relaunch at the same time as my journal. So, because they go hand in hand together. So, that was really, really exciting.
Right. So that was good timing then with Gail. We didn't even realise they're school holidays and are working with Lynn and all,
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's good, because you've been taught something, you've got the time to implement it.
That's it. Just need more holidays.
Yeah.
Totally. Sounds like a plan. But I'm doing still a lot of work in Scotland, and we've got lots of webinars and things happening on the 24th of September, which I'm really excited about. So at this stage, we've got close to 200 people registered for that one. Yeah, which is really good. And that's a paid one. So that's a paid webinar that we're doing through that one. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So looking forward to doing that. And I just launched a whole pile of new resources, which are jigsaw puzzles and things like that. So that's also been
excellent. Excellent. Well. So everybody's powering along. So that's really good. Must be in the stars. Fine. All right.
Moons and planets must be aligned.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do this little bit of activity, which is we stumbled across it last week, and I don't know what it was. It was just a good day last Thursday, because Thursday morning my coach, sales coach Andrew Komenos, because of COVID shut down, BX networking wasn't happening. So basically he just quickly got onto a key person and said, can I sort of set up an impromptu networking, which what it was. Now it was mixed, as in the men and women. So we've come on board, and Andrew's a bit loud if you don't know Andrew. He's very direct and out there. His friend is actually Nick Cree, which coincidentally, they're both my trainers at the moment and different things. And so we've jumped online. But what's happened is I didn't realize Nick was on and Andrew was doing his thing. And then this voice just came out and there was a bit of banter, which changed the atmosphere completely. So these guys just threw words at each other sort of thing, and everybody laughed, and it was just so lighthearted. And of course, then we've come on to the Visionary Business Hub, and it was Gail's workshop in regards to how to write a book. And there was a bit of an exercise she was organizing for us, and we changed it a little bit. Just to make sure there wasn't any dead air to say. So what we're going to do, based on the same formula, I would like to do the same thing, and we'll just see how it goes. Now, first of all, Gail was basically the host because it was her workshop. So what I would like to do tonight, because Gail knows what we did, I want to make Gail the host again. So basically, Gail, we're going to do the same thing, but what we're going to do is need you all to think about whether it was your wedding day or not. So basically, what are the steps? Think of the steps one by one that happened, that should happen on the day that you're going to get married. So we're just going to take it in turns and try and create it. So basically, this is an exercise that a book writer or an author gets people to do in regards to writing a book. But I just thought the exercise itself was fun. We all got involved. We all had laughs. So I thought we'd just try it again with a different topic, because Gail's topic was different. And I won't say what it was because we might use that in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So, Gail, I would like you just to sort of be the host. So I'm just one of you guys, and this is going to help when somebody else takes over. It's a case of, it helps people get to know each other instead of coming back to me, and then, you know what I mean? So everybody happy to do that? Right, so off you go, Gail. So yeah, so that's the theme.
Okay. So the way we did it, so this is a surprise to me, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
Donna didn't pre-warn me that I was suddenly going to swap hats, but that's fine. So last week, last time what we did was the steps were, I won't say what it was because Donna wants to keep it a secret, that's fine. But we were doing something that was very, very familiar to everybody, an activity that was very familiar to everybody, but we needed to describe it in steps as if to explain to someone who had no idea how to do it. So we can't assume anything. We've got to think that whoever we're talking to, or whoever we're describing these steps to, doesn't know anything about it, doesn't know what to do. So we can't make any assumptions. But I suppose the first thing that occurs to me, Donna, is that when I got married, I didn't have a church wedding. I got married by a marriage celebrant around the swimming pool. So,
but which is the same thing as the principle last time. People had different ideas of what they did. So to me, it's exactly the same. So it's just a case of someone start, and Gail, and then you'll just sort of ask somebody else to get someone to start, and we'll just add to it. It's just a bit of a laugh. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be more of a laugh than anything, because I'll tell you how I started, and that was that my husband-to-be and I were just like 20. We came to Australia from overseas. He's Spanish. We came to Australia because my sister lived here. We didn't live here. I'm from New Zealand, and we were on our way to New Zealand. So we had to get married, not because I was pregnant, but because we needed to get married so he could get into New Zealand. So I know if I'm the best person to start with.
Oh, well, that's fine. So we'll get Anna. I think Anna, we just get Anna to start. What would you, when you wake up on your wedding day?
Okay. And just by the way, I do have to leave about no later than 5 to 8 because I've got another business commitment at 8 o'clock. Okay, so 48 years ago in April, we just celebrated our 48th wedding anniversary. So we lived on a farm, and on the day of our wedding, of course, in our days, we couldn't see each other, and that day. So my husband had to stay with his family, and I never saw him for that day. But I can distinctly remember I got up at 6 o'clock, and I'm a hairdresser by trade. So I've got 3 other sisters that were bridesmaids. And of course, 6 o'clock, I get up on my wedding day, and I did mum's hair, put rollers in my hair because I had really long curly hair and I wanted to straighten it. And my 3 bridesmaids, my 3 sisters. So from 6 o'clock to about 10 o'clock, I'm going one after the other. It was chain reaction, to get everyone's hair done. So we lived out in the country, so we had to travel into the city about, say, 45 minutes to get into the city because we were going to stay in a hotel that night with my new husband. But we booked the hotel from the night before, so the bridesmaids and I could stay there and get dressed from there. And so so we did that.
So we're just looking for step 1 because
so step 1 was the hair. That's all I mean.
Yeah, the hair.
So
the hair.
Would step 1 be booking the hotel the night before?
Yes, and no one stayed there, but we had to check in by 10 o'clock. Otherwise, we'd have to wait till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the wedding was at 2:30, so that wasn't going to work.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So step 1 was book the hotel the night before the wedding, and then step 2 was get up.
Was all the preparation to get all the hair done before 10 o'clock.
Right.
And
so that was a nice, relaxing morning of my wedding day.
Sounds like it. Do everyone's hair by 10 a.m. Okay, great. All right.
Okay, so what would be the next step, Lynn? Yeah.
After we've done our hair, have a glass of wine.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Yeah. Going, where's the wine? God, we had breakfast.
A bottle of champagne after that.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say. 6 o'clock, open up the champagne. AM, that is. AM, yeah.
6 a.m. or 10 a.m. because, Anna's got to be sober while she's doing someone's hair.
That's right.
No, there was no alcohol till that night. Yeah. I can remember that.
Well, but we're allowed poetic license here because Lynn would like to open the champagne at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what happens? What happens next?
I don't know.
We've done a hair.
Sunny's still there? No, she's gone.
Isn't it funny? Because my first wedding was a registry office. I was very pregnant. Lynn's still there. No.
No. Sorry, I had to shoot off. Sunny said.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. So you would have been drinking any of the champagne at 10 then?
No, I didn't drink that one. No. But the second one was a different story. Yeah.
But
I don't know what happens next.
Well, yeah, what happens after we open the champagne and okay, so the bride doesn't drink, okay, because this is Donna now.
Let's skip to the second wedding where I could.
Okay, so it's up to you now, Donna. What do we do?
Isn't that funny? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember much of during the day. I remember because my older son gave me away. So I don't remember people come around. I don't know what time they came around. Isn't that funny? I don't remember. Dressed? Do you remember, ladies?
Well, what about getting dressed? Like, wouldn't you have to get dressed after?
Well, yeah, 10 o'clock. I say, all right. So if it's a wedding,
depends what time the wedding is.
Yeah,
what time are we getting married?
Yeah,
let's say 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I got married at 3.
Yeah, yeah.
3 o'clock
So-
a pretty good time.
Yeah, so a wedding at 3 o'clock. What date did you get married, Anna? Because you said April.
7th of April.
Oh, okay. Mine was the 20th of April. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's a good time of year, I thought. Yeah. So I suppose there were obviously nibblies there. You would pull something out and make sure you were 8 since you were eating.
And since you were drinking.
Oh, that too.
have some nibblies. Okay. Well, it's a long day because you've been up since 6. You've been doing everyone's hair. You've had some champagne.
What? Yeah.
And
So what did you, Gail and Anna, what did you do in that middle of the day waiting for your wedding day time?
Well, we had to go into the city. So as I said, it took about 45 minutes. So we had to take all our clothes in, hung them all up, make sure anything needed ironing. Mum was fussing around like anything. And like, I mean, we had to have the photographer, the makeup. We only did our own makeup. There was no makeup lady in those days. But I remember the photographer coming to the hotel where we were staying.
Photographer?
Yeah, so we had to organise a photographer. So, and you know, the time from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, it just went really quickly.
Yes, you got it. What did you say, Lynn?
The photographer.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. They took up a lot of time, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
you had your photographs before the wedding, Anna?
Yes, just getting ready with my bridesmaids and Dad coming to pick me up in the car at the hotel so we could go to, we had, you know, my cousin who drove the car. Yeah, so we had all of that. We had photos taken. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Lynn? You haven't said much.
Gee, it was a memorable day. That was basically about mine actually, because basically, we did the makeup, the hair first, then the makeup second. Then I'm pretty sure we drank champagne, and then basically, the photographer came around to do the photos at the house with Mum and Dad. And we had a bit of a drive because we were going from which was Carindale to the city. So we had a bit of a drive, and then we took photos in the city. And then, we were at the church. It did actually go, it went super fast. I don't remember it going slow.
Yeah, lots going on.
Definitely.
Okay, so Gail,
well,
how was yours?
Mine was very different because we had our wedding celebration at my sister's house in her place in Surfers Paradise, which at that time was a really nice area, and now it's Gunji, but it was a really nice area. And we had a marriage celebrant come to the house, and we had, so I didn't have a white dress or anything. I had a long dress, but you know, like not a white one. And we had the marriage ceremony in the house with my sister, brother-in-law, and a selection of call-ins, because, you know, like we didn't have any other family or friends. So we had a couple who, a lady I worked with and her husband and little girl, my sister, two couple that were tenants of my sister and brother-in-law, and a couple who my husband to be had met at his work, who he was Spanish and his New Zealand girlfriend. So, you know, they were all there. And then as soon as, you know, the celebrant part was over, we just all went outside and jumped in the pool.
How good is that? Wow.
Yeah, it was very casual, very casual.
Yeah.
Barbecue, yeah.
Wow. So what month was that to jump in the pool? Obviously
November.
Yeah.
November 16th. Yeah.
Right. So the steps sort of, so I just thought, oh, well, so the steps for the wedding, it's a bit of a blur, I suppose. It's all very simple, isn't it? You sort of get up, crack the champagne, and then people come and hair, makeup, dress, photos, ceremony. Any incidences? What sort of cars did you have? Is there anything special? Because usually the men organise the cars and they choose something. I
We just-
remember.
Sorry.
We just had a white limousine, which was lovely.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember Tony. Well, Tony's got 7 brothers. So there's 7 boys in his family. Sorry, 6 brothers. And I can remember they all wanted to help to wash the cars. So I had 3 sisters. So we had, and myself, so I had full bridal cart. So I remember
Wow.
him organising his brothers to come and help him wash the cars and whatever. Yeah, so we're up to the reception, I guess, now. So I just wanted, before I leave, just wanted to share how many we had at our wedding, because it was a very Italian wedding.
Oh, right.
All right.
365
Oh
people.
my God.
One for each
When I
stand,
think
isn't
about it now, poor mum and dad, I mean, the receptions weren't what they are now. It was in a hall and it was catered for and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I can't imagine. And then
Oh,
my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, she got married in a hotel in Mackay, and because we've never let her down with mum and dad as a joke, saying, oh, she had the posh wedding at the hotel, I had it in this big hall. But she only had about 150 people.
right.
Wow, you had one for each day of the year, Anna.
That's what mum always says. You'll never forget how many guests you had, one for every day of the year. But both, like, I'm Italian family way back. Tony's Maltese way back. So you can imagine the big families.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Yeah. And they paid for it, did they?
Mum and dad paid for everything.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a big one,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. So all those rules too, they sort of go by the wayside a lot of the time. I paid for mine, and I think my father might have contributed a little bit to the first one. But when my sons both got married, we were separated, and I thought, well, I just said to them, look, you two are boys, you're both living with your girlfriends anyway. So, I said, I'll give you $1,000. You do whatever you want, and whatever your father wants to do, that's, it's just a case of not paying for a wedding. They one had bought a house and everything. I'm like, no, I paid for my own. So I'll keep up that tradition. And I said, here's a present, do whatever you want with it. Yeah, it's just too hard these days. Yeah.
Some
Did you have a
ways it
tradition? Your parents were over in New Zealand, Gail?
They were, yes. So they didn't get to my wedding, and I didn't get to my 2 younger sisters' weddings either, because I was living overseas at the time, and then it was really expensive to fly.
Yes.
So
yeah. And Lynn, was yours more traditional?
Yeah, mine was traditional. We got married at the Uniting Church in the city, where they have
St. Paul's Terrace.
No, next to Suncorp building, on the opposite the King George Square.
King George Square.
Yeah,
Suncorp.
Suncorp buildings.
Oh, the building.
Oh, the building. Sorry.
Yeah, Suncorp building. So the church, Suncorp building, bank building. So the Uniting Church is right next.
That's a lovely.
Yes, I know.
The fancy one on the corner.
Yeah, right.
So we got married there, and guess where we had our reception? The Shangri-La. No, Shangri-La at Wynnum. Yeah.
Right.
So it was quite lovely.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. St. Paul's, I think it was St. Paul's Terrace or something like that. The ex-in-laws, actually, they got married, and of course they passed away now. So they got married, but then one of their daughters actually got married there as well. Beautiful church.
Yeah.
But it's up near Bicentennial, the swimming pool.
Oh yeah.
Up that's St. Paul's or St. Gregory's Terrace, whatever that. Yeah, up the top there. It was a lovely church though.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah. So well, mine was a registry office in Brisbane first time around, which is probably now, I think, is the casino.
Yeah, or just up the road from the casino.
Well, it was in that building. You sort of went to the very bottom corner of that building. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm sure it was the same building in there down there. So I don't know where the registry office is now.
Excuse me, girls. I really
All
have to go. I've only got 4 minutes.
Okay.
Bye. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that was actually very interesting. So I just thought, let's just do something a little bit different. And I think it's sort of you get to know each other, and I just thought it was a little bit more relaxed too than the other sort of game. Maybe when we're sort of a little bit more knowledgeable of each other, it might sort of the games might work a little bit better. But I just needed to sort of try and help, and I found and break the silence or whatever, just to crack that shield that was there.
Good,
So
good. I mean,
yeah, so if you guys, ladies, if you think of anything that we can talk about similar to the next time, just have a bit of a chat and things like that, please let me know, because I'll run out of ideas for sure. So now what we want to do is, Lynn, did you actually see the video on what Gail had with her? Oh yeah, you were there. There was plus Galen. It was only the four of us, wasn't it? Yeah. So obviously the results, then the feedback, because I sort of wanted to get into a habit of, opposite to the workshop, is have a bit of feedback. So
if you want, and Lynn can give you feedback.
Well, the feedback that I was given is I sort of learnt about, structuring things, creating a plan, writing it down step by step. So whether that's with because there's a couple of ideas I have with books anyway. And as soon as Gail said that, I'm thinking, well, that's exactly right, because basically my head was just going back to the same things and going around, and I wasn't going anywhere at all, which just made perfect sense. So I actually started in basically right across the board in the business, start writing down the plan to make it clearer. And you're absolutely right. So, for me, not that I'm signing up to write a book yet, I just thought it was great advice. Thank you for that.
How happy to help.
Yeah, the structure was really helpful for me as well. So which was awesome. So
it's interesting, really cool. Because that's where I actually start, like, this is not relevant to either of you, but that's exactly where I start with the book coaching program, because everybody has that problem.
It's just made perfect sense. I mean, and through all your education, it doesn't matter what you do, there's always saying write it down, but it's just, I don't know what it was, it just seemed to gel this time. Whether you're ready for it or not. So no, it was great. So so it's not this, we'll have you back again to do whether you want to do the same thing or whether you want to do something different in regards to your field, because there are so many people that are interested in writing books. So if we've got success this time around, chances are that there'll be success again. So I'm
happy to, but maybe leave it for a while.
Yes. That's right. That's exactly right. Because I'm getting a lot of people that are wanting to do workshops anyway, quite happy to do workshops. Something that I have learned from it all as well is, I think, Gail, you actually said, no, there was another lady actually who's coming on the next one, Sally. I said about, promoting whoever's doing the workshop and putting it here and there and everywhere as much as possible. And she turned around and she said, well, I'll do the same. And I thought, what a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? So the person who does the workshop, they also promote or, put out posts and saying that they're going to be doing a workshop and doing that. So it benefits them, and they're doing, and if they put in at the Visionary Business Hub. So, it's a two-way street. So it spreads further. So it's such a simple thing, but not being a marketing person and falling asleep during the marketing classes, it just never even occurred to me until this other lady said, well, I'll promote it too. How clever.
What's the one on next week?
Next week is Sally. Bear with me while I'll read it out. Sally Eberhard, and I've met her and from the network group that I go to at Redcliffe. Now she says, what have I got here? Sally Eberhard, writing to attract clients. So
is it like copywriting?
she's a copy, I think she says she's a copywriter. So yeah, she writes blogs, and she does a lot of presentations at the and a few networks around town. She lives up in the northern side of Brizzy, but she comes up and down, you know, and I've seen her a couple of times at Ocean Network. So yeah, she actually, I did went through a blog, there's little stats and things like that, tips that she had on a session of the network, and I brought it into our own session here because there were some important, interesting points and tips that I thought were worthwhile for those who are writing. So that's what she's sort of going to help us. Yeah. And you as a writer, well, that'll be interesting. I just thought,
no, it's very different.
Different, is it? Right.
Copywriting is very different. Yeah, it's a different skill altogether. It's very much about marketing. Yeah. So that's what Sally's coming on to do. So hopefully we'll get a few people come in, and because I found when Nick did an SEO thing in regards to blogs, it just all fell into place for me. Do this and then do this and then, oh really? Because it was just a big jumble 6 months before. So yeah, so hopefully we'll pick up some new people, and we're only just at 8 o'clock. What do we normally do after this? Yeah, goodness. Well, that's okay.
We can have an early night.
We can.
I suppose so. I like to keep it going till about 1:15. So, right now, I did leave myself a note too, just in case what we can discuss. Got the feedback in regards to that. So, is a topic. So basically, yeah, it's a case of, as my sales coach says, Andrew says, to have a chat with everybody. Is there anything that you would like to see, topics pointed out or anything like that, that you feel would be a draw card, which is, really the key thing that I'm looking for, that or something that you find is always missing and you wish there was more talk about it? Like in the workshops, for example, if you're really wanting someone, I met a lady today and she's very big on marketing and sales. And I went, oh, perfect, because it's one of those areas that we all seem to like to have a few more tips about. So but is there anything that that you think of that, is worthwhile?
Two things. The thing that popped into my mind about marketing and sales was your coach, Andrew, but then I don't know whether he would be too salesy, like pitching his own product too much.
He's coming on. I've got him lined up to do it.
Okay.
I do have him lined up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But another thing that, that I would find helpful, and that's because I'm not doing it properly, and I acknowledge that, and that is, like having, how the guy at our networking meeting this morning, Mark Pope, he talked about having a business plan and having a business plan and a strategy.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. So we've got, let me just read out to you the titles of what we've got coming, but it's good to know because I can keep that in the back of my mind instead of going, oh, well, we've had a business strategy, we don't need another one. We do, we just pick up, because you know how sometimes with someone, everything gels, and other times with other people, it just, and it's just still a bit jumbled. So, you need to hear it more than once. So what I've got is, I've got Andrew doing the sales, and I've got a couple of business strategists, and they haven't given me titles yet. So I've got 2 of those coming up. I've got another lady who's digital marketing. So, and then another lady who I didn't.
That's not Taylor, is it?
No, her name is Kylie Mowbray Allen.
Okay.
And a lady does mindset. And I've got another lady who she's doing some sort of course. It's about when your business is failing, the things, the signs, what you need to do when you, how to read the signs, and what you need to do to sort of reverse it or think about or structure. So I thought that was a good one too, because, you know, it's all too late when it's all too late. So, you know, it's a good idea.
Well, that's what Mark was saying today, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's about business health.
Yes, business health. That's exactly right. So yeah, so I've got a couple of ideas coming through, but you know, marketing was the one that I was really hoping for. Now I spoke to her today, so I'm going to talk to her again and try and get her to do just some sort of marketing thing.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, because I think, you know, what I found is I asked this question to you ladies, to the group a while back, and the top 3 things were sales, marketing, and Facebook.
Right.
What did you think of Sunny, what she was talking about? Would you like her to come back and create that workshop that she was, the funnel?
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I like.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so I seem to be having everything covered, that, you know, so if, as you're going along with your day and things like that, if you think of something like that and you go, oh, that's a little bit different, send me a message. I'm open to, you know, for any ideas, because we all go down tunnels and other people can see something completely different. So if you do hear something that you think that would be worthwhile, send me a message, or the person that you heard it from or whatever, so I can contact them and see if we can, what we can do in regards to a workshop, because most people tend to want to do workshops anyway. Which reminds me, Lynn, I was at this network group this morning and
you forgot to take me.
Hey,
you forgot to take me with you.
Oh. Well, you can come as a guest. Quite happy to. I can bring you as a guest. I drove down to Rabina. It's at Rabina, but yeah, so it was a nice early start. But anyway, towards the end of the session, the speaker was looking for more people to do workshops or a presentation in the group.
Oh, cool.
So then I've turned around, and Gail. Gail's got you.
I'm going.
You. The pressure was on, and I just sort of, and then so other people put their hand up because they were looking for 4 or 5, you know, and then they got down to the last one for the year, and I went, no, all right, but put me last, you know. So I'm just
nice.
Well, I can, if you want some help in, so I actually got help with, because that was probably one of the first like longer presentations that I have ever done as an adult.
Yeah,
you know, it's only 10 minutes, but it freaked me the hell out, I can tell you.
Yeah.
And I actually got help from a former BX member who coached me in giving a presentation.
Right.
So if you want any tips, just let me know.
Yeah. Well, you know, if he's putting me last, as I said, requested, put me last, I'll be a Christmas present. So everybody can have the Christmas party when I've done my thing, and everybody forget about it real quick. So yeah, but yeah, Lynn, if you want to come with me, you're quite welcome to. I've got a couple of vouchers starting, and Gail will have them too. A couple of vouchers to bring other people along.
Nice. Sounds like fun. I can only do it in the school holidays, unless I take a sickie, which I'm good at that too. When are they on?
They're on, these ones are on, I could go to different ones, but at the moment I signed up at Rabina, and I want to keep going back there, even though I'm in Brizzy, for the simple fact that I'll learn the ropes and get fluent in understanding what the group is about without, and I'll fumble there where they know me, instead of turning up at this one, because you can go to anywhere, instead of turning up and making a fool of myself because I don't know how it all operates. So yeah, so they're every second Thursday. So well, I was there this morning, so it just works from there. So anytime you just, because I'm not really out there looking for someone to take with me. So anytime you just think, oh, look, I can be available on that Thursday, we'll go. We just have to get up super early. I leave at 6:30 in the morning.
What time's the start?
8 o'clock start as a breakfast.
Well,
it's a breakfast.
There are other ones closer to Brisbane though, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know. But I'm not going to those until I understand completely. So, you know, we've got until the end of November anyway, so we can keep that in mind, Lynn. And when I'm ready to go to other ones, because they're all over the place, different times. There's lunch ones as well as breakfast.
Okay.
And there's a new one started at Cleveland.
Ah,
Yeah, but it's very new. So I thought, you know, you're better off
And
going
there's
to
one in Springwood.
Yes.
I met a couple at the Gold Coast Expo.
Yeah.
Who and he's the team leader there. So
Oh, okay.
they run a video company.
Yeah. Right. And there's also, I know that I actually initially joined up last year at Chermside. So I know that there's Chermside, but I read something today on an email. There's somebody in the CBD, but I ain't going there. I just, no.
I don't like the city.
Neither do I. It's too
don't.
hard.
I think it's an ugly place.
Yeah, it's just too hard.
It's too hard to get parking and everything, isn't
That's
it?
it. That's right. It makes it very expensive. Yeah. So there are lots of options. So basically, just give me a where are we? We're in July. So yeah, I'll have a couple of months sort of. Oh well, September, October, school holidays. One of those Thursdays.
Yeah.
That will be. I'll be sort of understand how it goes and quite happy to, you know, organize and I will know how to bring a friend. So
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome.
So we can do that then. Yeah. I just want to what's the word? I can't think of the term they call it. I just want to just get used to it and understand exactly how it works, because it's so busy. It's the structure is just full on, so you get all the benefit out of it. It's just really good the way it's organized. I just think it's great. And everybody's on a timer, and if they don't, they've got to sort of pay a fine to a charity and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody keeps within their time frame. It's really good, actually.
Well, if you tell me when you're going to go, like when Lynn's going to go with you, I'll make sure I go to the same meeting too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yes. Because I know, I have a feeling that, because I noticed Karen hasn't been for a while. I know she was away. Is she back yet though?
Well, yeah, I think so. I was surprised not to see her today, but then you see, I've been away. This is my first meeting in probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks, because you know, it's 3 weeks in New Zealand, and then I didn't go the first week back, and then there was COVID, you know, lockdown.
Right. That's
so,
right.
Yeah. So I don't know, you know, how long.
Yeah. Because I thought, well, okay, this is great, because there's lots of new people all the time, and you got to stand up and do your spiel for 40 seconds, which is really quite easy. And I just thought, well, Karen hasn't come back. Is it because I've seen her on Facebook posts that, you know, when she's in Sydney, she goes to that one, and when she's here, she goes to that one, which is what you're supposed to do, which is really good. I thought, is it because she knows all the people and she was looking for fresh blood, basically looking for new people?
Well, I don't know, because I do have occasional contact with Karen, but I haven't recently. So I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. But Lynn, it's really, really, really worthwhile. I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm amazed at the communication that I've got. Yeah. And I'm so busy today. Yeah. So, you know, because there's a section there where you get people who want to, it's about referrals, not selling to you, but it's just building those referrals and building that network. So you get pieces of paper given to you, handed to you, where you've got to sort through all these people want to talk to you, because they might either they want to talk to you for their business, or they know someone who's suited to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I think it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Right then. All right then. Well, it is 15:15 and I can't think of anything else. But yeah, so you know, if it's a case of, is there anything else that you can think of that, you know, we can add, contribute or whatever to help sort of try and make a draw card, or that you guys need because you guys turn up?
I got my book sorted. I'm just happy with that.
You keep coming.
You have no idea how that came together just so awesomely well.
That's
because
great.
as I said to Gail, you know, I've often asked people to work with me one-on-one to get one chapter done, but nobody's actually ever wanted to work with me in that way before. So it's actually it's actually, but that's exactly what I need for me, because, you know, I do want to write some more. I don't just want to, if it was just a one-off book and I thought that's all I'm ever going to write, then I probably, you know, wouldn't be so much interested in learning the writing process as it is. But, you know, I want to learn the process. And I feel like for me, the way I learn better is bantering. It's going backwards and forwards and, you know, saying, yep, this is the structure. And Gail and I were doing some of that automatically today, you know, while we were trying to understand where it is that we're going.
A 10-minute phone call, wasn't it?
Yeah. And like she was throwing ideas at me left, right, and centre. Oh, yeah, that actually works. Okay. So I don't need to start writing. I can put them in their own setting and write about that and then bring them back together at the end.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and just getting the structure of the titles and stuff just worked awesomely. So because that, I started writing more as a narrative then rather than as a dialogue, and I was getting stuck in the dialogue. So yeah, it was awesome.
Excellent.
So I don't really have anything else that I'm needing at this point in time. I've sort of got my Facebook stuff's doing awesome as well.
That's good. That's good, because I meant to ask you about that person who's doing your marketing, your Facebook.
That's going exceptionally well. Really, really happy with that. That's coming together.
Right.
So you've got someone like...
So, yeah, shout out. Who is this person?
So he is, what's his name now? Oh, Gary Weiss, W-E-I-S-S. He's from SBIM, which stands for Small Business Internet Marketing. He Googles his partners with everybody, and he's only across at the north side. Yeah, Brendale.
Yeah.
He's across there, and he does video marketing. So basically you go across there, you shoot 3 videos, which is done in pain, gain, and situation. It's interesting because my pain one, I hate talking from a pain perspective. It just doesn't work for me. It's doing the least. I'm going, yes, I knew I wasn't supposed to be talking to my audience about their pain. They don't want to talk about their pain. They know what it is. They don't want to talk about it. So that's interesting because at the first part of the process is he puts all 3 out. So all 3 are out there. And then we track to see which one's doing the best. Now, which one's getting the most views but not doing as many is actually my webinar. The next one up, which has got most views but not listening into the video as much, is the Saturn to Tranquility. And that's the one which I'm getting most, like they're downloading that lead magnet the most. So that was interesting. And the pain one, you know, the roller coaster to understanding emotions is going nowhere. So that was really interesting to understand the situation, and the gain is actually what's actually working for my market audience.
Yeah.
Type stuff. So yeah, getting some really good data, and it's been going for a month now. Yeah, it doesn't cost, because it's based on when people click on the link. So it isn't costing me much. I think I've spent $250 at this stage. So I did start off with a low budget, but if people were clicking on it, then I could spend a little bit more. But we're getting enough data based on that at the present moment to go, well, actually it's this one. And then what you do then is ramp the budget up on, you work out which one. Yes. Then you ramp it up on that one. And because he shoots it, so he shoots a long form, a medium form, and a short form. So, and I don't know which one he's got out there at the present moment, but say we decide, okay, these two are the best performers, so we drop the other one and we'll go with these 2. But then he uses a different version of them at a different starting point, so it looked like a different video, technically the same video. How clever is he? So then once we get, so then we'll run that at a high budget for 2 months, and then basically from there it's supposed to take off. And then when you work that out, you then go to YouTube with the winning video and to LinkedIn after that. So he's got a very clear strategy that just works. So
fantastic.
Really happy with how that one's come together.
Yeah.
Are these all on your LK Tommy Facebook page, Lynn? Or?
Okay.
I'm just going into the chat. Lynn, can you please excuse my slow typing. Is Gary, Gary?
Yeah, so it's GA. I'll put it in.
Oh, okay then. All right. Yeah, and his website. So that way we know exactly where it is. So people, I don't know, if you look back, I'm sure we can, when you look back, you'll be able to, can you look into the chat when it gets go back to the recording?
No, I don't think you can actually.
Oh, okay.
I think once you actually see the recording, I don't think you actually
Right.
get to see.
So would you say it again? So it's Gary Weiss, GARYWEISS.
Yep. So he's at SBIM, which is Small Business Internet Marketing, and it's www.sbim.com.au.
Okay, thanks.
And is that on your LK Tommy Facebook page, Lynn?
Some of the videos are, yes, there's 2 up there at the present moment. On my LK Tommy, you can see 2 of the videos that we're marketing to. You guys won't actually get to see them in the actual sponsor because you're not my target market. And, you know, I've been really happy that nobody has seen them outside of my target market audience. So I'm a bit happy about that one as well.
That's good. Yes.
So, which means he's really hitting my target market, which is just awesome.
Yeah. So there's another point for him. So
Yeah,
he's doing
and that,
very well.
That was my biggest thing, was to find my target audience, because they're hard to find because they're mums and dads and they don't want the world to know that they're in a whole pile of pain, as I knew. So to actually track them into groups or to Facebook, it's a really hard one to do. So that's why I then chose to go down this path, so as I could find them a little bit easier. And whatnot. And he also used the URLs. So I had to go through and make a spreadsheet up of 50 URLs and 50 blocks type stuff of who my target audience are, which are in schools. So I picked all the cath ed schools, and then he plucks their audiences and then markets to their audiences. So that was another thing that I went, oh, that was pretty clever.
Right.
So because that I know where my target market resides, but then it's connecting with them in a way that works. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's working at the present moment. So
I wonder if he would like to do a workshop.
he might do, because he actually works. So I don't know whether you guys have heard for the Connect Collaborative. They're a collaboration group as well, fairly much the same as what you're doing. They're based on LinkedIn though. They're called the Connect Collaborative. You pay $70 a month for theirs.
Yes.
You get a whole pile of, I'll just put it in the chat room. You put a whole, he's in that. And I participated in that for a little while. And they have different levels of their collaboration. It's all done online still. But there's some interesting people in that. So he's actually part of that group. I've actually come out of that group for the time being. They were just getting a bit too full on for me, time wise, more than anything else. They give you a whole pile of resources. I mean, it is, I would rejoin that group eventually.
Yeah.
So he's used to networking, so he probably would come on and do a session, because he already does that with the Connect Collaborative,
Right.
and that's where I found him.
Yeah.
Because another member who joined my Lincoln thing, that's how I got onto that one. And they're a very interesting tribe, the Lincoln tribe. They're like a whole tribe by themselves. They're like,
all right.
they're just an interesting little thing. But the person who introduced me to the Connect Collaborative, I still connect with her once a month on a Thursday. We still connect together, because that's part of it. But you're supposed to then, part of their strategy is then you find 5 people that you want to introduce to the group.
Is that BNI?
Is that what?
BNI have something similar to that, a networking group, and it's a case that you have to keep bringing people.
You don't have to keep bringing people into the Connect Collaborative, although it was a bit of a push for that. But then that's sort of where I got stuck, because then I thought, well, because it's an ongoing relationship forever. Like, you don't just connect in this group, people dip in and dip out. Like, this person wants to be my friend for the rest of my life, basically. And I thought, I don't know that.
Right.
It got a little bit too, but she's lovely. I mean, I still keep in touch with her because she's just a nice person. So I just humor her and do that. Not humor her, but I do keep in connection with her that once a month. But then if I thought I had to have an intense relationship like that with 5 other people, technically I don't have time right now.
Yeah.
So there was a bit more pressure, I guess, applied, and I thought, was it really value for $70 a month? And I decided no, it wasn't. But he definitely would come and do a session, because he's used to collaborative networking in this way, so he'd understand what you guys were up to. And he's just a lovely guy, so you could easily approach him. And
I'm sure I've heard of his name.
I'm just going to say that lady, one of the ladies that was at the BX, Sashwa Benej, she's a collaborative type person as well.
a Connect Collaborative?
Oh, I
Well-
don't know because I only just saw
Yeah.
her, met her the first time today.
No, she's actually, so what she is, she's actually a life coach, but she's running a workshop with someone else on collaboration.
Oh, okay.
I'm
that's what
doing it.
is.
I've signed up for it. Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
being
Okay. Because I
members
suppose,
get it.
no, yeah, like everything else, there's an art to it to understand how to collaborate the best way. Yeah. You
Yeah,
see
totally.
people working. Okay, right. That's what it is. Yeah. So I've got her, talked to her as well today. So I'll be seeing if she can do the same sort of thing, do a workshop for us as well.
Yeah. Oh, should be happy to. She's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely
that-
join you. I'll definitely let you know when I can join in that BM.
Yeah,
BM.
yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. You know, and what they do is to join, well, you know, you can go as many times as you like, but in the first 12 months, there's a bit of a guarantee. So if you don't think you're getting a value out of it and you want your money back, you basically have to attend 4 sessions a month, which is online as well.
Okay.
You know, so there's lots of sessions happening, and they're just spot groups all over the place. So, you know, it makes it very easy to do. So it's not a case of I'll just fade away. You know, I'll keep going. But I
So
enjoy it.
how much is theirs?
Theirs was $100 a month.
Oh wow, that's up
Yeah.
there.
But I can see the benefit because it's just so structured so well, and there's no time is wasted.
Yeah.
Nice.
I you know, like I joined in October last year, and I decided, okay, I'm going to give it a year. I'm going to give it 12 months, and I'm going to see if this works for me. And I have to say, and I said this to Nick today, that I haven't had, in fact, any business through BX at all. However, I've made so many connections.
Yeah.
And I know that it's just a matter of time, because you've got to build up that, you know,
that
boring
no trust.
no like and trust.
Yeah.
And that takes time, you know.
It does.
And they say that about the Connect Collaborative too. Like it's a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. And that basically, you know, by the time people get to know you, most people fade out because, you know, they haven't, you know, connected type stuff. And then you think, okay, I'm still, and like this was a fair time commitment. It was like 2 days, 2 nights a week. And, you know.
That's a lot, yes. Yeah. Well, the thing I like about BX is that it's once a fortnight, and if you don't want to go anymore, you don't have to. But you can go to any meeting at all over, you know, the whole of kind of Brisbane and the Gold Coast and further.
$300 a month.
It's $100 a month, but I thought I'm going to give it a go. And I was thinking I'm going to stop it, but then every time I go to a meeting, you know, I'm all fired up and all these people to follow up with. So and I'm actually thinking, Donna, I actually said today to Denise, who's kind of the regional coordinator, that I would consider going on as a team.
Yeah, team. Yeah, that'd be good.
As a what?
On the kind of team. So and I didn't tell her this, but because I've heard that you get half a year free.
Oh, okay.
So you go on the team.
That, did they?
You go on
That's
the
why
team.
Nick's
I'm
doing
sure
it.
there's a little bit of a time commitment involved with that.
Yes.
But, you know, like I just thought, okay, well, you know, that's worth it, because then instead of what is it, $1,200 a year, it'll be $600.
600 makes it worthwhile, doesn't it?
Makes it worthwhile, yeah. Do you have to go? Do you have to go find? Do you have to go find people though?
No. You don't have to find people. No.
That was
all you do is just bring friends, and friends sort of have a bit of a, you know, the typical sales pitch comes at the end of the session with the guests, and it's just a case I either sign up or they don't.
Yeah, nice.
But people are always signing up. It's just amazing. But I noticed the difference. Like I went to, it was my intention to actually sort of spend about $400 or $500 a year on a networking group. So first of all, what I did was go to the one over at Redcliffe, which is a great, the two ladies running it is great, but the people who attend, it's all free. So I find that they come and go, and I've learned that, there's value in value.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I thought, well, these people down here at BX, they're serious.
At FBIM, we know that you.
Sorry, I was just looking at Gary Bryce.
Yeah. So they're serious. So that's exactly what they're there for. You spend the money and you expect results. Whereas what I found is they were very complacent over in the one at Redcliffe.
I mean, when you're busy in your business, you want to go somewhere that's actually going to work for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's not immediately. And so, that, I mean, I don't belong to any other networking groups because, like you were talking about, the Connect, what was it called again?
Connect Collaborative.
Yeah. And, like I've got so many subscriptions, I'm not talking about networking groups, but, networking groups and, dictionaries and, programs and apps. And I mean, when you add it all up, it's just phenomenal. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
And like that, all essential to the business. So I'm very careful about, getting into something else.
Yeah, totally. I have to watch time. For me is my biggest thing.
And time.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
So because that's always the trickiest part for me at the present moment. But anywho, it's all working at the same time. But yeah, there are two of my videos on my LK Tommy one. So if you want to check out what he's actually done for me, then you'll also get a feel of what he does as well. But he scripts, and everything he does is scripted, which is another thing that I liked. So you know exactly what you're going to say. It's all done on teleprompters and the whole entire thing. So, but yeah, it was fun.
Well, thanks for sharing that. That's
that's great.
But you should try and get him on the group because he's good at what he does and he's not highly expensive. So it's worth worth getting him on because I think he really does get the results for people that he works with. So, and that's what we want is getting those results.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I do like meeting people through networking. It just works.
Just works. VBH works. Yeah. All right.
All right.
That's great. Thank you so much, ladies. You have a wonderful weekend and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks.
Okay.
Same
Bye.
Thanks.
See you.
See you later.
Bye.